I'm just looking forward to being here. I mean, I appreciate you all coming down here today, and I'm grateful for the opportunity that Coach Helton and the University of USC gave me, and we'll make sure I take full advantage of it.
Donte, for you, what was the deciding factor that led you to coming here as opposed to just staying in Oregon? I know your family was part of it, but what played into that?
My family was a big part of it, and just like I say, I mean, Oregon's a great place, right? But it's always different when you get the opportunity to go home. This is home for me. I mean, I grew up here. I was born and raised here, so I've been here my entire life. And, it's a lot of the people here that, my family's getting older, grandparents, the situation that's going on with my dad right now and everything else. So it definitely was a weighing deciding factor for me as far as, what I was going to do. But, I mean, a lot of the kids on this team I already knew also, just like I do at Oregon. And, I mean, there's great men here just like there's great men there. So the big factor, I guess, was coming home.
What was that conversation like with Mario Cristobal when you told him you were leaving USC?
Cristobal, actually it was a good conversation, but at the same time he wanted to do everything possible to keep me there, and, like I said, it was a hard decision for me. It wasn't something like I just came to USC. It was Coach Helton, he talked to me quite often, and Todd Orlando talked to me quite often, even the AD, Brandon, Bo, all of them, everybody talked to me. So it was a hard decision, but I feel I made the right one.
Your hiring created a lot of buzz in recruiting circles. How do you think you can impact USC's recruiting?
Greatly. But at the same time, they have a lot of great coaches here and they've got a lot of great recruiters here. So that's not just, for me just to impact, just USC recruiting. We're going to impact it all together. We're going to do everything as a team, as a group effort. So it's not just me by myself. It's us. It's we. So I think together we'll be able to accomplish great things together.
What is your recruiting focus now? After you got hired, a lot of offers went out, a lot of five-star guys. What was the scope of what you're looking for and how you're going to approach it?
The best players that fit us. So whatever that may be. I mean, at the same time, like you could say a 5-star, 4-star, but if a 1-star or a guy who doesn't even have a star yet fits us, what we're looking for at that particular position, then we're going to offer that kid too. It doesn't matter if we're the first. It doesn't matter if we're the last. We're just going to out-recruit everyone else.
What happened at USC last year? You were going head-to-head for a lot of kids and coming into Southern California. What happened here?
To be honest, I don't know because I wasn't here, so I can't really speak on the past. All I can speak on is what we're going to do in the future. And like I say, I didn't really come here to be liked, right? I came here to make sure that we're respected and we're feared.
How much of your knowledge of Oregon, the way they recruit, and the presentation you make to recruits on behalf of Oregon, is that an advantage for you to know that, being at SC now? And because you obviously grew up in Southern California,
right.
So there's a little bit of advantage there.
No, I mean, like I said, Oregon's a great place, and I have, nothing negative to say about Oregon. Right now, I'm just focused on what we're going to do here at USC. It's not what we're going to do here can match what they're do or we're going to copy what they're do. I mean, we're going to be the trendsetters. We're USC. Like I say, the whole thing for us is making sure we take back the West. When you take back something that you rightfully own, you don't copy others. Like, you're the trendsetter. So we're going to be first.
When you were growing up and playing, I think it was at Culver City High School.
Yep.
Did you have a favorite school yourself that you wish you could have played at, or were you?
I mean, SC recruited me, but everybody that grows up in this area, if you're growing up in Southern California, you want to be a Trojan. And at the same time, with some of these kids, they may have moved here when they was in elementary school, but at the same time, like, this is where you grow up. This is what you watch. This is what's on TV. And if you grew up here as a little kid, your grandparents, your parents, everyone wants you to see you be a Trojan. If you play football in high school here, you play football in Pop Warner, this is where you want to be. So we're going to make sure we do everything to make sure that comes possible.
There's been some back and forth between you guys and Arizona State's coaches on Twitter.
Yeah.
What have you thought about their kind of claims, their proclamations and stuff like that?
I love those guys, So those are, I mean, not to say like this, those are the guys that I see myself in them. That's just 10 years ago. So at the same time, old dog still has a few tricks up his sleeve.
You've been successful recruiting everywhere you've been. What are you telling kids why USC is a program that they should highly consider?
For one, the alum here is amazing. The education here is amazing. And the football here has always been amazing. So we're going to make sure that they see all three of those things. And USC is a school that provides everything. Nowadays, when you go to college, for me, it's education first, academics, right? So academics is first. USC provides that. It's athletically, USC provides that. Big stage, biggest arena in the Pac-12. You're going to play against the best, right? Even on our team, best type of guys, so iron sharpens iron. At the same time, USC also provides something socially. So you get to grow in all three aspects of your life, and I don't think there's no other school that compete in that aspect.
What was it about Clay that stood out to you in terms of someone to work for, or the direction this program is going?
Just all head coaches. I would say, the biggest thing for me is just being open and honest. And one thing with Clay is you could tell how open and honest he is. And I knew quite a few guys on the staff here, and the guys that I know on staff here, to be honest, they were so happy being here, where it was almost like it made me really curious, and they loved working for Clay, and I could see why, right? He allows you to do your job. He's not a micromanager. He allows you to do your job. But at the same time, if you're not doing your job, he's able to step in where needed, and I love that about him, because my biggest thing is I'm always going to make sure I do my job.
As a coach, what makes you a great recruiter, or make any coach a great recruiter?
For one, is can you relate to how hard you're willing to work? So, like I say, a lot of guys, if they say they have to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning, they start working at 7 o'clock. But if I woke up at 5:30 that morning, I need to start working at 5:30, not 7 o'clock, not just when I come in here. If I go to sleep at 2 a.m. in the morning at night, which majority of the time I do, I don't really sleep. So I go to sleep at 2 a.m. and it's a kid that I know wakes up on the East Coast at 5, then right before I go to sleep, I'm hitting him. So it's like, I think the biggest thing about being a recruiter, if you're up for 24 straight hours, you got to recruit for 24 straight hours, not for 23. That's how life is. If you want to be the best, you got to do everything to be the best.
How many of the players in the secondary who played SC that are returning did you actively recruit when you were at Oregon, and how much of an advantage is that for you to reestablish a relationship with them now that you're here?
I don't think it's hard to ever reestablish a relationship, because when you got big-time guys, a lot of these players on this team are big-time players. And when you have big-time players, they all know each other. So whether it was I was at Nebraska or Arizona or Oregon or anywhere else, either I recruited these guys in the past or they know someone else that I coached. Or they maybe be somebody's nephew that I coached in the past, even when I was, a little bit younger. So the majority of all these guys that's on this team, somehow, some way, I cross paths with them. So it helps me.
When you're out recruiting, are you finding there's a perception among some of the star local players of this footprint, they're looking to leave and maybe go east? How do you change that?
Win football games.
Is that really what it comes down to?
Yep, win, and just, as much as possible, make sure you're able to connect with them. If you all of a sudden think that just because we're USC or just because this logo, someone's going to come here, you're wrong. Or like I say, we're going to out-recruit other people. And by doing that, it has to be a 24-hour type of job, 7 days a week, and you have to be willing to do that. And right now, we have a long season ahead of us, so we got to take one game at a time, but at the same time, while we're taking care of that business in that season, we still have to recruit every day.
The administration talked when they came in about, adding more resources, redoubling their commitments to recruiting. Is that something, obviously you've only been here a couple months, but is that something you've noticed, even that there are the necessary resources to recruit in the way that you guys want?
Yes, it is the necessary resources, but at the same time, recruiting is just like everything else in life. If you have to, everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. So you could do everything possible to think you caught up with everybody today, but tomorrow there's 5 new schools that did something new and added to their budget. So it's a revolving door. It never stops. So just because you're willing to do everything to keep up with somebody today, next week it completely changes.
You were in the middle of the USC-Oregon game last year, and I know the USC kids, 2/3 of the way through the first half, thought things were going their way, and then all of a sudden it completely turned. How did you see that from the Oregon standpoint, how that game just went?
That's football. Football is a game of momentum. So that's not just that particular game, that's all games. Like, it's momentum. Sometimes it takes a big hit, sometimes it takes a big interception, sometimes it takes a big touchdown. But football is a game of momentum, and when you get that momentum, you want to make sure you ride that wave.
What stands out to you about Todd's defense?
About Todd's attacking. We're definitely going to be aggressive. So that's one thing that definitely stands out to me.
What were the conversations like with your family when you told them you were coming back?
My family didn't know until it was announced. So, I mean, a lot of things like, like conversations with my mom and stuff like that, like she would talk to me about it, but I didn't want to tell her what was truly going on because I didn't want to stress her out, didn't want to bother her with her. And, my mom was always going to tell me to do everything that's best for me. So I didn't want to just, it wasn't a conversation until it happened. And then everybody in my family, friends, cousins, everybody was shocked.
Going back to Todd's scheme, he's been great against the run, with a lot of passing yards. What does it ask of the cornerbacks in the system?
Everything. So we're multiple. So NFL-type defense, we're going to be multiple. We're going to be attacking. And, I mean, it's not really what his defense, as far as giving up, like, whatever you say, passing yards, like, that was the pass. So I don't know what happened in the past. I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about what we're going to do here to get better every day.
You guys had, 20 interceptions last year. I think USC had 9. What has to happen to get USC to where you guys were to get those kind of takeaways?
The biggest thing is, what our offense is going to do, which I know they're going to do, is score points. Once you score points and you get teams behind, they take more chances with the ball. When they take chances, we got to make sure we capitalize on it, which we will do.
Where do you think you've grown as a defensive back coach along your different styles?
I think that every time you get a chance to kind of go to a new place, you're almost able to take a look back in the mirror and see what you did that was really good and see what you did that maybe you could adjust or change, or even something that maybe you did bad. So I think the biggest thing is every time I've, had the opportunity to maybe go somewhere else or that a new year starts, you're able to reflect on what you did good and what you did bad, and you're able to, correct those mistakes.
In that sense, how would you describe your coaching style?
Very, very, very energetic, demanding, not attacking. But at the same time, all I want is the best for my guys in all aspects. So I'm going to be very, very fair, very open, very honest, but I'm going to be all over the place.
In talking to guys that have gone through the recruiting process, one thing they've always said about you is that you're one of the guys they trust. Is it just as simple as just being honest, or is there more involved into gaining trust of these kids?
It's, for one, I'm really open and really honest, and, but the biggest thing is, like I say, all these kids, they all know each other. And all it takes is for them to hit up another kid and the kid to be like, he's a liar, he told me this or he told me that. And, I'm real genuine. So every kid that I talk to, or every recruit or prospect I talk to, like, that's for that person. That's for that recruit. That's what me and him talk to. I don't hit up 5 other recruits and have the same exact conversation or start the conversation, the text conversation with the same exact thing. Every person is personalized. They're all individual, visualize of what that conversation is.
What are you hoping to establish the week 1 with the DBs here, with cornerbacks here?
Get better every day. As long as we get better every day and, probably, work on something that maybe wasn't the greatest the day before, something we need to improve, but at the same time, what we're already good at, making sure we continue to improve that also.
One of the things that was said is that Coach Cristobal brought SEC recruiting to the West Coast. What does that mean? What were you guys doing differently?
I don't know what people say, when they say that, but he's a grinder. So he literally will sleep in the office if he has to do that, every freaking night to sign a kid. He's a grinder. So if they saying it because he outworks people, then yes, he did do that.
How difficult is it on defense? If we go through spring ball, SC's offense, for lack of a better word, is referred to as an air raid type of offense. How do you prepare in spring ball to get your defense ready to face teams like Stanford or Notre Dame that are going to pound and ground when you're practicing against an air raid type of offense?
So I think that's a little bit misleading. And the reason why I think that's misleading because in the past I played arena football, right? So everybody always said arena football is all passing, and it's not that physical, and regular football is so much more physical. Let me tell you, the most physical football is arena football. So everybody always said arena football is all passing, and it's not that physical, and regular football is so much more physical. Let me tell you, the most physical football is arena football. So everybody always said arena football is all passing, and it's not that physical, and regular football is so much more physical. Let me tell you, the most physical football is arena football. by far the most physical football. I mean, you got a guy running at you 15-yard head start, and somebody's telling you that you got to press this guy, and he literally could run you over. You're running into walls and everything else. So just because they pass the ball a lot does not mean it's not physical. And that's the biggest thing. Football is it's a game of inches, but it's going to come down to the same thing. Hitting, blocking, tackling, that's what it comes down to. And no matter, they can pass the ball all over the place. They throw a screen, people still got to block. You still got to get off blocks. You still got to tackle, right? You still got to communicate. You still got to get to the ball. So all they're doing is helping us play in space if they pass the ball a lot in spring football. It's helping us play in space. And especially in the Pac-12, the Pac-12 is a game of space. Try to get your best athlete in space on someone else who they feel that they outmatch and make a play. And our whole thing is stopping them from making a play. So if our offense is the best, which I hope they are, which I think that they are, it only helps us because every day that's what we get to practice against.
What kind of traits are you looking for when you're looking at a cornerback? What are the biggest things you want to see?
For one, do you love football, right? Football is a hard sport. For every day, I could recruit you right now, and you may be, 5'6".
5'4".
All right, see, 5'4", and, I never guess a woman's weight, but, you could be 5'4", and I could send you out there right now and tell you to go take on a guy that's blocking you that's 6'7", 330 pounds. And to do that, you can't be timid about that. So you have to be able to love this a little bit because it's going to be a little bit of pain in this. And football is a hard sport, in my opinion, because you have to be willing to give your all every day without no guarantee of success. None. You can come every day and come to meetings every day. You can practice every day. You can lift weights every day. And you may not play in the game. But I still want your all, and this team still wants your all, because whenever your opportunity is called, you still have to everybody's dependent on you. So just knowing how hard this sport is, I want to know first, do you love it? How competitive are you? It's a lot of things that I look for. And for one, me and you have to be able to get along off the field. It has to be a lot bigger than football. Football is what brings us together, but football is not what's going to keep us together.
So how do you tell that a player really loves the game? What are you looking for from that?
What do you do when nobody's watching? When it's Saturday and it's not football season and there's nothing going on, that you just sit at the house all day and play cartoons and watch and play video games? How much do you really love this? What are you willing to put into it? Because if you just do what everyone else does, then you're never going to get better because you're doing what everybody else do. You have to be able to do a little more.
Is there any way you've noticed so far in the time you've been here how maybe Coach Orlando is unique from other defensive coordinators you work with?
Everyone's different. So I can't really compare him to no one else that I worked with in the past. But, I like T.O. a lot. So, and I don't know if it's because personalities are, we're kind of similar, but I like him, so.
How are you guys similar in personality?
I think for one, he's willing to do what it takes to succeed. When it comes to coaching, he's willing to, as far as staying there every day if he has to, right? He never, as far as, in my opinion, he never is negative. He's always positive, always upbeat, always energetic. I've never once seen him to where he looks tired, like he looks worn out. I've never seen him like that. No matter how early in the day, no matter if it's the middle of the day or no matter if it's late in the evening. Every time I've seen him, he's been energetic, been ultra positive, and he fits in well with the guys.
What is Todd comes to recruiting, and how important is that engaged and supporting the process?
It's very important because I think, when it comes to it, every player still wants to see where they fit in. And if they only hear from you, it's almost like, yeah, I hear you, but it's only from you. When you hear, everybody's on the same page, which we are here, which is great to see. Whether it's me, whether it's, T.O., whether it's Coach Helton, doesn't matter. We're all on the same page, and I think that's really important because they're hearing it from multiple people instead of just one.
The defensive personalities from the staff are diametrically different from last year. When you sense a little bit of resistance from the players, how do you look through that?
I don't know. I've been here for, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks?
In your career?
Yeah. Here, I haven't seen no resistance at all. And from a player standpoint, I really haven't seen resistance when a player feels they're getting better. So when a player feels like you're getting better, you won't get resistance. Players usually have some kind of resistance when you belittle them, when they feel that they're not getting better. So I haven't been a part of that.
Let's do one last question.
Working with Craig Navar, what's kind of been the relationship so far? How do you guys kind of see breaking up things?
Everything's been great because usually I'm used to probably being the most energetic person, especially when it comes to secondary and all that. And I don't know if Craig's already come up here and talked or he's about to, but shoot, Craig's more energetic than me. So, I mean, he's every day. You almost feel like he's jacked up on Mountain Dews and everything else, and he hasn't even had one yet. So, I mean, the relationship's been great.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you all.
Dante.